If you're starting a business or you're in an existing business, something that you should be doing is what they call a SWOT analysis. So a SWOT analysis is made up of 4 sections, and we're going to look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. Now, this is really important to give you a bit of a snapshot of, if you're a current business, a snapshot of where you sit at the moment. And if you're starting up, it might give you an opportunity to look at how you're going to plan to move forward and what to really look out for and watch. So when we break up our quadrant, we've got our strengths and our weaknesses on the one side. And the reason we keep them on here is because they're generally internal influences. They're things that we have a lot of control over, a lot of say over. When we look at our opportunities and our threats, that's pretty much based on some external forces, okay? So when we look at the strength of the business, we want to say, well, what are we doing really well? What are we really good at? And that could be, even if you're just a single business owner, what are you good at personally? What can you do well? How can you build upon that? What can you do to expand that and to add to it? What do we need to add to this business or to this structure that we have in place to add some more strength to this business? When we look at our weaknesses, we've got to be really objective here. Sometimes we hold back because we want to kind of protect our ego a bit. But with our weaknesses, I think is really important, because that will tell us how to fill the gaps. Where are our gaps that we need to fill? What problems do we really have in this business right now? And you'll get a lot of that feedback from generally your market feedback, so from your customers or your clients. Even some of your suppliers might be able to tell you maybe where things need to be kind of propped up a bit more or strengthened in that aspect. And internal feedback from your employees, people who are working from you, management. Where do they see that there's potential gaps in this business which are creating some weaknesses to prevent that growth and expansion? Now, when we come across our opportunity and threats, again, that's more based on external forces. So those are things that we've got to really watch and monitor and take advantage of in some cases, or make sure that we're putting systems in place to protect ourselves. So a threat could be obviously your competition. So what are they doing at the moment that might change some of the market activity, might change how you might need to operate, pricing, structure, things like that. What are the external threats that are happening? Things like the economy. As we know, the economy is going through a bit at the moment. So how will that change or affect the market that you're sitting in? What kind of market trends are flowing through that might push you to the side or might make some of your business ideas and concepts no longer viable? So when we see that shift in those threats, though, there is potential opportunity in there. So if the market does change or a new trend does come, how do we then attack that new market? How can we set up the business so that when new opportunity arises based on any external factor, that we have an opportunity to jump on it and go into that from there? Because opportunity is about growth. And even though some external forces come into play, which we don't really have a lot of control over, if we can watch them closely and put some systems in place to take advantage of it when it does happen, there's great opportunity for growth and change. And the opportunity will be internal and external. So we can, opportunity to grow as internal, to strengthen that internal team, right? And external, so really looking for that external opportunity to maybe sell a different product, attack a different market, diversify a little bit. You might find a product or a service that's very complementary to what you do. The market's changed a bit now. Your competition seems to be going that direction, and maybe some of the economic reasons means you might have to change the direction you're going in at the moment. So a SWOT analysis gives you that opportunity now to kind of sit there and map out your business. And you do it under those 4 headings. And under each heading, your strength, you will list what your strengths are. So your strength might be, sales, you've got a great product, what that is, or your service ability. And your weaknesses, again, you want to list that out and be really objective. Now, pretty much probably going to have more weaknesses than strengths. And that's not a bad thing, right? When we can really be honest about the weaknesses that we have, we can start to put a plan in place to prop that up, right? To rebuild on that strength and really take advantage of that. There's real advantage in acknowledging and finding your weakness, because when you've done that, that gives you more control over the change that happens from the external forces, right? Because now you know where your gaps are, you know where the problems are, you've listened to the right people, you're starting to put systems in place to add to the strength of the business, and you can plan ahead for any market opportunities or business opportunities that come aside. And that could be even investing in a completely new arm of the business to expand it from there. But getting the first part, the first fundamental part right, and starting with that open, honest look, that's where you'll get it right. So put together a SWOT analysis of where you sit today, help you forecast about where things may go. And when you look at the external factors, maybe try and forecast ahead about where that might be, and look at where you need to fill the gaps, close up those problems, find new opportunities in your own market, and build upon those strengths and take your business even further.